Okay, so we're going to be talking about Distill, and I'm just going to put the link to what darn thingy. I'm just going to put the link to like the workshop instructions in chat, and that's what's on the right here. So this is what's called a Github repository, and you don't need to know too much about it other than it's a place where these files live. But this is duplicated in the Distill workshop, so you don't have to worry too much. But this just has like the instructions here. And so you can kind of go back and kind of go back if you want to kind of re-review these things. So I have the Distill workshop open. So let's talk about the learning objectives for today. So we'll learn the basic components of a Distill website. Once we kind of learn that, we can actually build our website using the build tab that's built in R. We can customize the website with our bio and our picture. We can add links and entries to our navbar menu, and I'll show you what that means in a second. We can add knitted files, HTML files as article links. And then we'll get your website up using that thing called Netlify drop. Once you have that up, you can actually claim it under your own kind of ownership, so you can keep on updating it. And it kind of gives you this really weird domain name, and you'll see this when we actually do the Netlify drop. So does everyone? So these are the instructions to get it working on your home machine. Does anyone have any questions about that? Or is that if you'd rather, you can just run it off of the RStudio Cloud project. So I just want to show you kind of what we're working towards. So sorry, I need to make this little. So this is like the basic website here. There's a nice about page. So this is mine, but you will fill it out with your information. So this is like a nice thing that you can kind of give to people as kind of this is like your one-page summary, kind of like your business card. There's also a little drop-down menu here, and I'll show you how to basically, so these are just things that I generated. These are just like articles or HTML files that I generated. And I'll show you how to put those into the website. And you can see here, this is just my article on Slice. And then you can link to it. So let's take a look. So the first thing we should do is, so if you have this stuff, so if you have your links to social media, like your Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., if you have a bio and a headshot and any kind of HTML files you want to share, you can totally do that. This is where you can kind of add them. And then if you have time, we can do this kind of in the middle of the workshop. You can sign up for a Netlify account and just make sure that you're logged in. So I would say the main thing that is confusing about building websites is understanding what the file structure is of a website. So what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of going to go through these kind of individual elements. So you can see that we've got this file. This is called site_site.yml. And this is where you kind of put in some basic information about your website. And you can see this is actually where we'll add our menu information to the website. And we'll get into that in a second. So the two things I want you to kind of concentrate on right here are this index.rmd and about.rmd. So this, as a convention, if you just point someone to a website and it doesn't have like index.html or it doesn't have a file name. So if I point someone, for example, to if I point myself or point someone to this website URL, the default thing it's going to load is always a file called index.html. So this is like you can see when we just first loaded it, that this is like this is kind of the main page of the front page of our website. And the main difference here is that like you can see the front matter. So you can change the title here to something that you would rather have. And you can see that this has this special front matter option or argument called site. And so this is what tells Distill that what you're doing is making a website. And so this is just, you can see like, you can see the title got translated here, and that this is just my text, and it gets translated into an HTML file. So how does that work? So what's going on in the background is Distill is what's called a static site generator. And what it's doing is it's knitting these individual files into HTML files into the special folder called _site. So if you see this, you can see that we had a index.rmd, so that becomes this index.html file. And you can see this about.html file is also generated. Also, you'll notice that the folders, there's the articles folder and the image folder. These get duplicated into this folder as well. So basically, what Distill is doing is it's taking your RMD files and it's going to try to knit them, and it's going to basically put them into this folder called _site. So why is this important? Because this is actually what's called the rendered website. And so if you basically download this folder from this project, you can drag and drop it into Netlify drop, and it will basically serve up all of the files in this folder as a website. Are there any questions so far? Because I think I'm trying to go slowly, but this is, again, it's hard for me to know what you don't know.
Yeah, I've got one, Ted.
Sure.
So when you're making the website, I guess, because like we could edit that RMD file to kind of decide what text we want in it. Can we just preview it normally by knitting it, or how do we?
Yeah, so that's the trick. So up here, so what you actually use to build the website is this tab right here, and there should be one that says build. And so if you click on build website, so I'm just going to do that right now. What it's going to do is it's going to pop up, how it does that. It's going to pop up kind of like everything that you did. It's going to render it's basically going to knit the files into HTML files, and it's going to, this is basically just kind of a preview that you can see that's out of the _site folder.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So here, like, if I wanted to add something, So I just made a change here. So if I just save it and I click on build website, so you can see I added that text to the website. Any other questions? And we're going to kind of slowly kind of modify this so it's going to be kind of more reflective of you and your interests. But that's kind of the basic idea. We will get in. So again, you know, the main files that you need are this underscore site YML. So this gives Distill basically information about, you know, how you want the website to look and what options you want, and this index.rmd file. So with these two files, you can make any Distill site. But we've just added this about.rmd just because it's kind of a nice little splash page. And this was generated using a package called Postcards. Okay. So thanks for the question, Bradley. So this is just kind of an explanation of how Distill works. So once we've got that folder full of knitted HTML files, we can drag and drop that into Netlify. And what is Netlify? So it's what's called a hosting service. And you can think of this as a network of computers, and they're called web servers because you access them with a web browser. And anytime you're typing in a URL into a browser, there is like this universal directory that basically looks up that domain name that you put in, or the URL, and it's going to direct you to one of these servers. So the main thing is really that it's amazing because you have this access to this whole network of servers, and it's free, mostly free, and it's very fast. So they have web servers almost everywhere. So that means, you know, someone who's accessing your content in, say, Slovakia is going to access it nearly as fast as they do here. So like I said, we'll basically produce our folder of knitted HTML files, and we'll drag and drop that into what's called Netlify drop. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go into your customize your about.rmd file and start modifying things in here. So if you have obviously changed your name, if you have an image, well, let's just concentrate on these on the links first. So if you have your media links, just change your name and then change your the links to your media, and just hit ready when you're all set.
Do we not change the index.html, or is that something we have to change?
So we're concentrating on the about page first.
Okay.
I think what she meant was how it says URL is index.html.
I'm sorry. So so you don't want to change that one. Sorry, I didn't understand your question. But you can change LinkedIn, Twitter. Like if you had an Instagram page, for example, you can add label Instagram and then URL. but make sure that you have this kind of formatting. So you need to have a dash for each of these items. And then there's no dash after it. So when you're done with the changes, hit build website again. And when you're ready, just let me know. It's going to give you a warning, and I've been trying to figure out exactly what's going on with that. I think the problem is just Distill is kind of this package that's kind of on the cutting edge. So I think there is just some issue. So ignore the warning or error. So you can see I added that Instagram, and so now there's a button for Instagram here. The nice thing about this little format is that it looks really nice. It looks nice even on a phone. It's basically kind of dynamic, so it'll just kind of put it as like a single column on the phone. And remember, you need to hit under the build tab, you need to click build website.
So I'm not seeing the build button that you were seeing before. Could it be like I don't have a package installed or something that I'm supposed to have?
So try closing it down and reloading it if you don't see the build. So you can also manually do it using R Markdown. I'll put this command. If you don't see the build tab, you can use this command to build your website.
When I do build my website, one of the links doesn't work.
Which one?
I found my really old like Flickr photography
Mm-hmm.
and it's not relocating me to that website.
So what did you put under your URL? Can you cut and paste that into?
Yeah, just
Okay, the link works. Let me just try it with mine. So I'm just going to change the Instagram here, and make sure that you've got this formatting. So you need to have this dash. It needs to be kind of aligned with the other dashes here. So there's the easiest way to do that. I just cut and paste to copy it, and then I change like the fields.
yeah, that's what happened. I mean, I have the dashes and what appears to be the right spot and stuff.
So it's still giving you a problem?
Yeah, when I go to the About tab and I click on photography portfolio, it doesn't go to a new website. So I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, sorry, I did this wrong. Just give me a second. So if I hit build website, Huh. Is this the error you're getting?
Yeah, that's what I get. That's sad guy.
Huh. I don't know why. There must be, huh, what is that? View are marked. Why is that? Give me a second. Because this really should work. I know it works for Twitter and I know it works for LinkedIn. I would say that maybe this is just a weird case that it doesn't work for Flickr. Has everyone else gotten links to work?
Yeah, so my links are actually working, and I fixed my other problem, by the way, too. So
Oh, okay.
I didn't have the project open.
Ah, well, that always helps. So yeah, so that's so yeah, Sarah, try it with something else and see if it works. Don't know if you have a Twitter or a LinkedIn. I will try to fix that. I don't know what's going on with that because the URL works.
I honestly don't know any of my login information. Like I don't know. I don't
Well,
have
you
Twitter,
can-
I don't have any of that stuff.
I'm just trying to change this and see if I think it may be, I'm sorry, keep on doing knit and I should use build. I think for some reason Flickr is weird.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of. So if we go into about, let's try it again. Yeah, it seems like it's really picky. I don't know why it's doing that. So it's not you. I don't know what's going on with that. So if you want to upload, if you have a headshot, you can add it into the image folder. Sorry, that says images, but it should be image folder. And so you can change that line in the front matter to the name of your image. So if your name is Jane, if your file is named jane.jpg, you can change that to image/jane.jpg here. So I already talked about the build tab. So this works on this works in RStudio desktop, but for some reason this does not work in cloud. So if you're getting confused, you can open the about because it's a single it's what's called a self-contained HTML file. But for some reason, when you try to open the index.html, it's going to give you an error. So like when you build it, you can just check everything through the preview. So once you're done with that, there are some different built-in themes. So this this about HTML, this is rendered with a different package called postcards. I just like it because it's just kind of a nice, it's a nice thing to kind of point people towards that. Like if you just have like, you know, you need to get it's, you can kind of use it in lieu of a business card or something like that. So we can try, so why don't you try different themes here? So I'm going to try Hoya Blue. So JOLLA_blue. And then build it again. And you can see now it has a different kind of format. So there's basically four different kind of formats that are built into postcards. They're just meant to be kind of really nice, kind of short. Again, it's supposed to be kind of a succinct kind of thing that you can point people towards. Like, especially if you need something like a bio or something like that. So has anyone found a theme they like? So the themes are right here.
I haven't tried the other ones yet, but that Hoya blue one is pretty cool.
Yep. I kind of like trestles, but you can play with it.
I just tried I'm gonna get it wrong, but the Onifer, and it just doesn't
Yeah.
weird. Like, it got rid of all of my text and all I have is the picture in an oval.
Huh. That's oops.
I think I saw, because I got the same thing. It says you do not have some certain package installed. I didn't look at which one it was, but that might be what it is.
Oops. Yeah, let me see.
Are you using local, Bradley?
Yeah, so I'm doing this from my RStudio on my computer.
Yeah, I'm just doing it from the cloud version. So I'm getting a different message.
So let me try building it again. Oh, maybe I misspelled it.
That'd be so funny. I love it. Does it stand for something? Is that why it's kind of a funny word?
I don't know, to tell the truth. Let's
Yeah, that's
see.
interesting, because I tried the Hoya blue one and that one worked, but the other ones are doing the same thing for me.
Huh.
But that one definitely works, so.
Strange. Because trestles works for me. So try this. Try moving postcards trestles to just the output line. Let's try building again. So let's try that with Onofray. Keep on knitting. Old habits die hard.
I just did the exact same thing.
Yeah, huh. So the text is here, but for some reason it's, I think there's something going on with the background with this one. So I guess should probably file an issue with that. But at least you have trestles and you have Hoya blue. So I'm going to keep it on trestles. So just want to show you like just examples. So I just put my single rendered HTML files in here. So that's the thing. Usually what you want to do is you want to put your already your single your self-contained single HTML files here. So you can see this is the one for crop production. So this was what I was going to show people before I ran out of time. So this is basically me doing this many linear models at once. And this it basically I was just visualizing productivity across all of the different countries for all of the different crops. But that's just a knitted HTML file that I put in there. So once you kind of have those files in there, you can add them into your menu. So you can see that because they're in the articles folder, you refer to them as articles/slice.html. If you have spaces in your file name, you probably want to put this in quotes. It doesn't hurt to put it in quotes in general, but you know, in case you have dashes in your file name. So if I build this again. You can see it will go to my article. So this is an important thing in general. So Distill only really kind of knits, I believe it only really knits the RMD files that are in the base folder. It expects you to kind of, if you're putting in articles and things like that, it kind of expects you to have those already rendered, I believe. So I've already knitted these to HTML, so I can just kind of refer to them. So when you have a chance, you can kind of modify your text menu so like these show up. And I think that's about all in terms of rendering the website that I'm going to cover. Are there any questions about this?
So what does the menu thing that you have there show like on the website? Is that on our version too? Like the
Yeah, so if you click build website, so that's that menu right here.
Oh, okay, I see that. Yeah, we have that too, I guess.
Yeah. So that's how you, if you wanted to, what I was showing you is basically how you do kind of multi-level menus. And you can see this is the About page is just kind of a top level menu. But unfortunately, the way this works is you have to hit back. That's the one kind of issue with this that I found, is that it's a little harder to kind of make everything look a little unified, but at least you have kind of a place that you can kind of park your articles if you want to share them.
Does it matter if because it looks like all these are rendered here, like will it render an RMD if you put that as the file?
So it actually doesn't, I believe. You can try that. Let me just move this out of the way. So I'm just going to move this into the top folder and build website again. So you can see that it doesn't by default. I think there is an option in your front matter to for your RMD files to do it, but in general it doesn't. It kind of expects you to kind of come in with the pre-rendered. So this is just, it's called a kind of an opinionated. I'm just going to move this back into articles. Oh yeah, so one other thing I want to show you is about styling. So if you go into the site.yml file, you'll see on line 6, I've commented out this line. So if you uncomment it, you'll see that it's tied. what we're doing here is we're actually providing what's called a style sheet for our website, and the style sheet's name is theme.css. And you can see that file is just in the root of our folder. So this, so I will say that style sheets are kind of their own thing, but with it can basically you can there's a link in here that kind of shows you how to style stuff, and it gives you a couple of examples. But if I rebuild the website now, it's going to apply that style sheet. And you can see it looks different now. So if you want to modify the appearance of your website, kind of modifying the style sheet is kind of the way to do it. So you can just select like different colors, you can select different fonts. I think there are some other things you can tweak as well. I think the menu bar kind of fixed. It's always going to look like this, but there may be some options that you can set. Further down here, so this under what's called styling your website. So there's a really good link here, and it talks about theming and kind of changing the style of your website. So what I'm going to do is we've got our rendered, oops, sorry. We've got our rendered site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the _site folder, and I'm going to export it. So it's going to export as a zip file. So I'm just going to save this to my desktop just because it's easy. So we're now going to go to this site called, and I'll post this link in the chat. So we have the site called dropnetlify.com. So what you can see here is that it says drag and drop a folder with all of your HTML files, and it will basically publish them, and it will give you a link to share it. So I'm going to open up my my desktop folder. So you can see that I have that site _site zip file. So I'm just going to drag and drop that. I'm going to drag and drop that into this into Netlify drop right here. So it's going to load things up. And so this is the actual URL for my website now. So if I'm just going to paste this into chat so you can check it out. But if I go to that website, you'll see that everything is live now. So that's kind of the first part of it. If you want to kind of keep on updating it, you have to make sure that you claim your website and you register for a Netlify account. So it's tied to your account. That means you can always kind of update it. When you update things, I just want to show you where it is. So if you go, this is the Netlify tab for my website. If you go into deploys, you can just drag and drop your file into where it says need to update your site, drag and drop file your site output folder here. So that's going to update it. So when you're done with this, just give me put the link to your URL in chat. and it's going to be different for everyone.
I think I did it right. Oh, also the Flickr works now when it's in a live website.
Huh, that is a weird thing. So I'm just clicking on Sarah's link and woo, nice. So yeah, so that's the basics behind it. So just make sure that you sign up for a Netlify account and make sure to claim your website. Unfortunately, I'm signed in. I don't know exactly how to do that, but there should be instructions. So I hate this name. I'm going to change it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into domain settings. So under domain settings, so you can see it's under site settings and domain management. I'm going to click this options button right here, and you'll see edit site name. So you can change it if it hasn't been taken. So I'll just call this Ted's demo. So you can change like the very first part of your URLs. The rest of it's going to be a .netlify.app. And if you noticed, our website is a .netlify.app. So this is how I customized it. So I can save that. And now I can point people to teds-demo.netlify app, and people can see it. It's completely live. Any questions about that? So what I'm not showing you today is basically how to do this on GitHub. That's how I usually do it. There are some advantages to it, but I will say this gives you kind of enough to get your website up and running and kind of maintain it. So if you need to, there's more information on like doing the drag and drop here if you need to. We've just customized our domain here. We already did styling. Yeah, and the last thing is putting your code on GitHub. So most of my sites run off of GitHub. The main advantages are that other people can kind of contribute to your website. So it's not just you. So you can basically have, if you have a GitHub account, you can basically invite people to collaborate on your website together. There is a different kind of hosting mechanism that GitHub has called GitHub Pages. You can use that. Or the other nice thing is it lets others reuse your code for their own website. So those are kind of the main advantages of putting it on GitHub. If you're interested in this, so there is this great book by Jenny Bryan and company called Happy Git with R. And so it basically takes you through understanding what Git is and how to put things up on GitHub and kind of collaborate with people. So this is just, you know, the source material that I kind of derived this workshop from. So you now kind of have the power to kind of alter things. Any questions?
Did you say that this is free to do, or that like yeah, setting it up this way, is it free or?
It's free. I think it's, if you get up to something like 250,000 hits per month, it stops being free, but most of us don't ever hit that that kind of usage. So you know, for the most part, like almost all of my websites are running on Netlify. Like I said, you can also run this on GitHub Pages, which is kind of an alternate. So that's always free. The one thing I found that GitHub Pages is it's a little slow to update. It's a little pokey. That's why I like Netlify, because it's very fast, and you just point someone to this link and it's going to work. So now you know how to this is kind of the basics of putting together a portfolio. So if you want to kind of play with this, please go ahead. And any other questions?
No, that's super cool though. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm just going
Yeah,
to,
this is great. Thanks.
I'm going to stop recording. That's going to be kind of the scheduled portion of our talk today.